Hello everybody, welcome again to another edition of the Shiur. We'd like to thank our sponsors, and we'd also like to wish a refuah shlema to Ram ben Sarah Gittel, Menachem ben Sarah, and Shoshana bat Miriam betoch Cholei Yisrael. This week, Bezrat Hashem, we continue our special series on Kabbalah and mystical concepts in Judaism, and we are going to focus today on an important topic, and that is the Kabbalistic secret of Torah in Judaism. What is the significance of learning Torah? What about keeping Torah? Where is the Torah in the system of the olamot, of the worlds? And all this is explained to us based upon the words of the Zohar Kadosh and the Arizal Kadosh, as we will continue to explain. Now, the first thing we have to know is that there are four worlds. There's the Olam HaAsiyah, that's the lowest world, that's the one that we live in now. Above that is the Yetzirah. The world above that is Biriyah. And the world above that is called Atzilut. Atzilut is where the Kisei HaKavod is. That's where HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak, lives. And that's where all the magic happens. That is the source of everything. Now, we have to understand that above the world of Atzilut, there is maybe nothing above, but at the shorish, at the root of the world of Atzilut, there is something. There is something there which is the source of all sources. And therefore, by definition, that would mean that that thing is the most important item in all four olamot, even in the highest world, and all the more so in our world, Asiyah, which is the lowest world. That thing, the Mekubalim say, which is the source of all sources, is the Torah. The Torah is something which HaKadosh Baruch Hu looked into, istakel be'oraita ubara alma, and through the Torah Hashem created the world. The world doesn't just mean our world, it means also Atzilut, Bria, Yetzirah, and also Asiyah, which is where we live. The Torah is the source of everything that is created except for Hashem. So therefore, the Zohar Kadosh says that Hashem and the Torah are in a certain way equal. Not only are they equal, but the Torah is Hashem. The Torah is an expression of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's thoughts, and it is an embodiment, so to speak, of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what does that mean for us? The Sifrei Kabbalah explain that anything which is created all the way up in the world of Atzilut, as it makes its transfer down to Bria, Yetzirah, and then down to us in Asiyah, so there's going to be a dampening of its Kiddusha. When it is created in the world of Atzilut, all the way at the top, it is extremely holy, very pristine, very pure. As it makes its way down, it becomes less and less pure, to the extent where it can even be something which is completely mundane, like a pizza, or a towel, or a table. These things are not holy in any sense. One can always make them holy, as we explained last week. But simply speaking, they are dvarim chulin. They are mundane, non-holy objects and artifacts. However, the Mekubalim explain, the Zohar Kadosh says, that the Torah, even though it comes down from all the way up in Atzilut, in the source of Atzilut, it goes all the way down, Bria Yetzirah, to our world, the Torah does not have any detraction in its Kiddusha. It remains in its pristine form of holiness, as it was all the way up there. So what that means is that when a person is learning Torah, a person should know that he is tapping into the source in its perfect and absolute form, undiluted. It is as holy as it is all the way up there, above or par with the Kisei HaKavod, the throne of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is what we are doing when we're learning Torah, and not when we're keeping mitzvot. When we're keeping mitzvot, it comes down to this world. It's also extremely holy, and a person can be nothing without mitzvot. But when we keep Shabbat, when we put on tefillin, when we eat kosher, when we don't speak lashon hara, all these things are very, very holy, extremely holy. But they are somewhat diluted when they make their way down from the Atzilut all the way down to Asiyah. However, when a person is learning Torah, he is bringing himself up all the way to the Olam HaAtzilut, and not just there, but to the root of Atzilut, to the source of everything that is created. And therefore, the Zohar HaKadosh says many, many times, and I will read you just one example. The Zohar HaKadosh says, can't find it right now. Can't find it. But the Zohar HaKadosh says that if a person learns Torah, that is better than bringing korbanot. Now we have to understand what a korban is, a sacrifice. In the times of the Beit HaMikdash, a person did an averah. Whatever averah it was a mistake, but he did it. So he has to bring a korban. And the korban gives him kapara, gives him atonement from that sin. It wipes his slate clean. The Zohar HaKadosh, this is Kabbalah, the Zohar HaKadosh says that when a person learns Torah, it is actually an even more effective kapara than bringing a korban. It says we don't need korbanot. We have Torah. Torah is better than korbanot. And why is that? For the same reason that we said. Korbanot is something, it's animals, it comes down from Atzilut, created over there, it comes down to our world. It's somewhat diluted, so therefore the atonement that the animal, that the sacrifice achieves is also going to be somewhat diluted. However, if a person learns Torah, he is tapping into the source, to the ultimate level of Kiddusha, and that is going to afford us the ultimate kapara, the ultimate atonement for all of our averot. So that's an incredible thing. Now, the Sefer Nefesh HaChaim says, that when the Torah was created in the Sefer Atzilut, in the Olam Atzilut, and it came down to our world, the Torah did us a favor. And the Torah made itself, because it's so holy, it's so unbelievably kadosh, that we wouldn't be able to handle it all the way 3 steps removed from where it was formed. So the Torah did us a favor and made itself more palatable. So the Mekubalim say that the Torah disguised itself in all sorts of different things which look somewhat mundane. We hear laws about cows and about oxen, and we hear donkeys, and eating food, and marital relations, and all sorts of things that the Torah speaks about, which don't sound very holy. They don't sound very holy at all. They're extremely mundane in some cases. However, we have to know that that's only because the Torah has to be palatable to us. It has to be relatable. We have to be able to receive the Torah on our level as human beings, as people with a nefesh bahamit, an animal soul, as lowly beings that we are. We have to be able to receive the Torah and to understand it in that capacity. And therefore the Torah lowered itself down to our level. So there are many other applications of this. We don't have time to list them all. Maybe we can make a part 2 of this shiur. But it seems to be that learning Torah is very important. The Mekubalim, the Zohar HaKadosh says that if a person learns Torah, then he is alive. He is Etz Chaim Hi L'Machazikim Ba. It is a tree of life for somebody who holds on to the Torah. That refers to somebody who supports the Torah, but more referring to somebody who is actually learning Torah. A person who holds on to the Torah is somebody who's learning Torah. And that gives a person life. That gives a person satisfaction. If somebody who teaches science wants to come into a synagogue and say that a person is not satisfied and does not feel like a man unless he is doing something other than learning Torah, then he is arguing on the Zohar HaKadosh, he is arguing on the Mekubalim, and perhaps the scientists should stick to science, and the Torah should be taught by those who have dedicated their lives to Torah, and the scientists should perhaps stay out of it. That's not their field. Just like you wouldn't trust me if you had a question in biology or chemistry, so too you wouldn't trust a scientist when it comes to Torah. And we have many, many sources that a person is very fortunate and very fulfilled when he is learning Torah, and more so if he dedicates his life to learning Torah. And the Nefesh HaChaim, Rav Chaim Volozhner, who is bringing all these sources and is quoting the Arizal HaKadosh and the Zohar HaKadosh and all these Kabbalistic sources, tells us that if there's one moment in the existence of the creation where there is not one person learning Torah, then you have obliterated the world at its source. The source of existence is Torah. It is the highest point of Atzilut. And if we in Olam HaAsiyah are not tapping into Torah If there is not one person learning Torah for 1 second, the Nefesh HaChaim says it is obvious that the whole world will revert back to tohu vavohu, which is astonishing emptiness and chaos. And therefore we see that the Torah is extremely important. Extremely important. And it doesn't say over here in any of these Kabbalistic sources that somebody who takes money for learning Torah is a thief. It doesn't say that anywhere over here. And in fact, Chazal praise the person who learns Torah many times over, and the Zohar Kadosh even more so. If a person wants to quote Kabbalistic sources and wants to use those to prove that he is a thief, then he has to answer for all these sources brought here in the Sefer Nefesh HaChaim in Sha'ar Dalet, and he is welcome to come and borrow my copy if he so pleases. I want to thank everybody for listening. Please make sure that if you are learning Kabbalah, that you are learning it from a reputable source. Ask your local Orthodox rabbi. Anyone in Toronto there, the Rav of a shul, will be able to tell you who is a reputable and reliable Rav, and he will be able to teach you accurate and authentic Kabbalah with messages and not just conjecture. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and have a great day.